Josh Blyler here. We're at the Big B Motorsports facility in Clingerstown, Pennsylvania. We're getting ready to go to the Rausch Creek race, the first race of the Ultra 4 season, and just getting everything buttoned up, loaded up, and tomorrow morning we roll out and head to the track. So Big B Motorsports is it's located right beside our manufacturing facility, Big B Manufacturing. Big B Manufacturing resides on the old Blyler family farm. My grandfather started Big B Manufacturing, and by trade he was a farmer. He was a very mechanical individual and liked to tinker, and he ended up renting out the farm and went full-time manufacturing. This facility where we're at currently, the building we're inside, is the old Blyler barn. It was part of the original farm. The room behind me is that's where I kept my pony as a kid. So it's by no means a NASCAR facility or anything crazy. We're literally in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, working in the bottom of a barn. The first time I was ever at Rausch Creek, we were racing the Line Mountain Series and heard about this other series, this Ultra 4. I didn't know what it was, but they were putting a race on at the Rausch Creek facility, so we took our old Line Mountain cars over there, and we were completely out of our league, and we did all right. I don't remember exactly where I finished that particular race, but at the end, they had came to me and said, you're 8th place, you qualified for King of the Hammers, and I was like, that's pretty cool. What's that? Up to that point, I didn't even know what King of the Hammers was, so they didn't do much about it. It wasn't until we were racing at Line Mountain and doing our thing, and we're doing well. We weren't winning them all, but we were doing good. And all of a sudden this guy shows up with this car that's unlike anything we race at Line Mountain. It was totally different than everybody's equipment, and it was Eric Miller. And at first the knee-jerk reaction was he's not going to do well. His car was big, it was wide, it was heavy, it was everything we designed to not be. That's what his car was. And quite honestly, if he didn't have a problem, we couldn't beat him. And so we're all kind of sitting back, scratching our heads, saying, "What just happened? This new guy comes in from out of state and kicks all of our asses. What's the deal?" And started asking around. Well, found out it's Eric Miller, and he's won this King of the Hammers. And again, up to that point, I didn't know what it was. So came home from that weekend and started Googling things, and found King of the Hammers and what it was all about. And it's in Johnson Valley, California, and just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So again, out on a whim, decided I'm going to fly out there at the next race and check it out. I was only there for a couple minutes and said, I'm doing this. I've got to come do this, and set myself a goal at that point. I just wanted to finish King of the Hammers once in my career. And I truly still feel that it is a super big accomplishment just finishing that race. So come home and put my old race car up, the Line Mountain car, put it up for sale, sold it. I gave me a budget to start on a Ultra 4 car. Knew Eric by that point, but not super well. I had a phone conversation with him and explained that, hey, I want to build an Ultra 4 car. I want to go race King of the Hammers. And I've heard rumor that you're trying to build a production car. Where are you at with it? Can I buy a car? What's the deal? And he basically said, no, I'm trying to put it in production. We're not there yet, but you'll be the first to know when it happens. And after a few phone calls and conversations back and forth, he threw out the offer and said, hey, if you're willing to help me get my car into production, we'll do it. We'll bring you a car and we'll reverse engineer it and we'll do this. So that's what we did. He brought his original car here, the one that they had hand built. And Eric's mechanic, John Balducci, lived in this parking lot for 9 months in a camper. And we tore that car apart from top to bottom and inside and out. Made a lot of small changes, just little changes that they wanted to make maintenance better for the most part. Reverse engineered it, built the very first car, and been just building them ever since.
Yeah, so we started racing actually back when Josh was just a kid. I tell a lot of people in the race family, take your kids racing when they're kids, because if you're lucky like me, your kid will take you racing when they grow up. He went at it and built a race team, in my opinion, that's second to none. And now we get to travel all over the country and race. And I always felt like he and I were more like brothers than father and son. we're competitive against each other, and I tell him, you know, I'm going to have to retire from this at some point, but I tell him I just race to keep him scared, because who wants to be beat by their dad?
I feel very fortunate. You know, there's a lot of people that don't get to, number one, do what we're doing. You know, people have asked me already why do you do this? Because honestly, there's nothing about it that makes sense. It costs too much money. It eats your labor. It you know, a race like King of the Hammers sucks the soul out of your body. You know, logically speaking, there's nothing about this that makes sense. But you know, the best way I could explain it to people is, you know, there's one of our old friends, Dale Lanik. You know, he started the Line Mountain four-wheelers. Just a great man. And he's passed. He's left us. But that man, you can sit in the bottom of his barn and listen to race stories for hours. Just endless stories about traveling the country and doing these things. And you know, I guess what makes it so intriguing is he was doing things that nobody else was doing. Just adventure. You know, we all get one trip around the sun, or one trip around on this life, and you know, just live it to the fullest. Do what you want to do, and do it for you. You know, that's what we're doing. We build a hell of a team. Again, the team that we have from the outside looking in looks like this well-orchestrated plan where we spent years finding the right people to fill the positions, and it's not at all what happened. You know, the right people showed up at the right time. They're good at what they do. They're passionate about what they do, and really that's what it's all about. You know, getting to do what you enjoy with your friends and doing things that nobody else gets to do. And that's kind of what this whole team's about, you know. And just as an added bonus, you know, I get to do it with Dad. And you know, this Rausch Creek race that we're doing this weekend is going to be my daughter's first Ultra 4 race, and she's super excited, and I'm hoping she sticks with it. You know, I don't know how he does it. I hurt when these things are over. Everything's all beat up, and I don't know how he keeps doing it. I don't intend to do it as long as he does. So I'm hoping Lily comes up through the ranks pretty quick so I can retire and sit in the pits and have a good time with the boys.
That's the difference. I hurt before we get in, so it doesn't really matter how you feel getting out.
Right. I guess, yeah, it's all the same. But for me, the greatest part is just doing it with everybody. You know, we travel in the country, just again doing things nobody else gets to do with your friends and family, and you know, it's like a camping trip every time you go racing. You know, we load all of our crap in the trailer and a bunch of food in the grill, and we just have a camping trip. And while we're there, we'll go do some racing. And you know, it's just the whole thing. And you know, everybody in the Ultra 4 community is super nice. You know, again, back when we were micro sprint racing and go-kart racing, it was a different group. You know, the group in the off-road, everybody wants to help. And you know, if you bust it up or you need parts, you can go to anybody's trailer, and there's no secrets. You know, they'll give you whatever they can. And you know, everybody wants to race, but they want to beat you because they raced you and are better than you, and had a better day, not because you didn't have the right part in the trailer to put your stuff back together. So,
well, the motto you came up with is pretty cool. You know, Josh has a motto. It's on some of our sweatshirts and stuff, that we're just average guys having above average fun, and that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. Yep.